Hi, friends. Happy December. Oh, it's I was gonna go, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas. It's the end of the year. Time is an illusion, but we made it, baby. I am just I was kind of meditating before jumping onto this, and there's December energy. I'm just going to jump right in. You know what I mean? She's a mystic. She's a visionary. And she's also very funny. Here we go. Welcome to the Rachel LaForce show. Uh, no, I'm grateful you're here. We'll talk a little bit more about kind of the December vibes, but I'm just wanting to jump right in, which is like December really has this very like tingly feeling. Like this, which it is, right? It's the holiday spirit. It's always that like everything feels a little bit more like magical. Now, some of us also that lower vibration of that, right? If we lost a loved one during the holidays, maybe we just lost a loved one. This is our first holiday without them. So there's a lot of that conflicting energy, right? Because there's this overall kind of like, there's magic in the air. There's that feeling, and then it's like, fuck your magic. So there's these two kind of contrasting feelings that are kind of always there. And maybe if you're somebody, I feel like there's two things. There's one, which is I feel like somebody needs to hear this idea that there's something right in the middle, and that like kind of hitting that like right through the middle is completely okay. I just want to share that because I think there's some people who are needing that the next part of this may not resonate for you as much, but I don't want you to feel left out. So if there is this kind of like melancholy, this kind of dull pain this holiday, I'm just curious if in any way possible, this isn't like spiritual bypassing or grief. I actually say this with as much love as I can of like, can you rise up a little bit to meet that kind of that energy? Not that you need to like go caroling and be like, it's fine that I'm sad. That's not what I'm saying. But if you can, there's something really beautiful, I think, about really grieving at a time that feels very magical, because we also can accept a little bit of that and pull that down for ourselves, if that makes sense. So I just wanted to share that. And then also, kind of this bigger arcing feeling is there's for a lot of us that have been doing this work, over time, over time, over time. And I know a lot of you too that are either very close to my community or folks that I'm like messaging with and things like that. There's a lot of us of like, there's been this building and building and building, and a lot of like really fast energy that's happened through this month of November, like really steady. And December is just going to like light all of that on fire. And there's this feeling of like, I'm going to live forever. Like it can almost produce a little bit of like manic energy a little bit for us. And so, whether it's like, oh, I'm in love, or like, there's just all of these, right? Everybody's always like holiday, like a lot of people are going to be getting like engaged, and, or it's like surprise weddings. Like there's just a lot of that magical energy that's available to us. And, I've been talking a lot about, if you listen to the Thanksgiving episode on the Rachel LaForce show, I talked a lot about embodiment. We talked a lot about that from the November newsletter, of this feeling of like, the mirror guardian, and how can we in October, we dumped out all of these pieces of ourselves and we let go of all of this stuff that we no longer need, and now we're in this place again of our energy body and our physical body. We've cleared out a lot of stuff, and even if you're in this place of like the tower card, like maybe you're in that place where like you just had an awakening, everything is falling apart, there's still this, right? It's the Leonard Cohen of it all, of like, there's a break in everything, and there's a crack in everything, and that's how the light gets in, right? Oh, that was like one of my favorite quotes when I first got sober. So enjoy it if that one is new to you. So there still is this kind of like, this like, we're all a little more cracked open than we even thought was possible, if that makes sense. So there's a lot of this flighty energy. And I think also the holidays can tend to be a time of like, we have this party, then there's a holiday party, then there's this party. And I encourage you, how can you float through the month of December so that you can maintain and take what you need of that magical kind of like I just keep seeing Elsa, but we've also been watching Frozen in my house a lot. But there's just like a little bit of just like magical energy that I want you to be able to take that and like embody a little bit of that. Like this is much more just like fairy princess than normal Rachel LaForce, but there is something to that of like what is a little bit of that fairy dust that you can be like, yeah, I'm gonna be a little fucking magical this month. Like I think that there's some of that that you can really embrace because I think next year and a lot of the stuff that we're going to be doing is like it is building this next level of you. It's building this next level of expansion. It's accepting these things that we've been working towards, even if accepting that is, oh, this career isn't working, this marriage isn't working, this like that energy of like expansion and new doesn't we equate it a lot of times to like, oh, it's success, it's money, it's the relationship. That's not always true. Sometimes like my biggest point of expansion, I will tell you, in all of this was on that porch when I put down that last cigarette, when I said like out loud to the universe and wrote it down, I was like, I'm doing this heartbreak differently. And then subsequently I quit drinking, I quit smoking, like I allowed that it was that Leonard Cohen, it cracked that open and that's how the light gets in. That actually was the point of the most expansion. That's really where it all came from, right? That kind of like spawned this whole thing. So when I say that, I want to make sure that lands for you. That doesn't mean like if you're like, well, I'm not starting a new business. Like, I guess this message isn't for me. That's also not an attempt of like this is for everyone, right? That's not the intention, but just more sharing where some of these words that get thrown around a lot, they really are more expansive than we even give them credit for. So there's a lot more there that you can play with. And I think what the month of December is wanting us to pull in for ourselves is like, you are that magical. Like that magic feeling that even though societally, like we dress everything up and we make it look pretty, and I don't know why it's only the month of December that we do that. I mean, logically, yes, I know. Don't be like, oh, it's the holidays. I get it. But I mean, isn't it interesting that we've denoted it's like it's one time of year, which, yes, that adds to like the specialness and, and all of those things that make it very sacred for us. But ultimately, that energy, that spirit, that feeling of anything is possible is always available to us. So that's what I mean when like, what of these things can you take and find a place for it in your body? Maybe that's in your heart. Maybe that's in your crown chakra. But actually for me, it feels more of like a physical thing. Like, how can you, and maybe this is a little far out for some of you, but you're here, so tag along. Like, how can you incorporate a little bit of that magic like into your root chakra? If you're not familiar, that's like right about the base of your spine. That's the whole idea. Your root chakra is there for how do you feel safe, and so really like like kind of connecting you not only to the ground, to the roots, to all of those things, but like also at your root that you are magical. At your root, you are capable of infinite possibility. This morning I went on a walk for myself and I was like, well, I don't want it to be a gratitude walk. What do I want to focus on today? And I was like, I want to focus on possibility. That's the place I'm in right now because it's like, I have a reason why everything I'm trying to do is scary. I have a reason why every part of it won't work. People will laugh at you. What a buffoon, what an idiot, right? We've got those in spades. Great. We're so grateful that you're here. And so I really wanted to tap into like possibility. What is the possibility? And not even one, they are infinite. There are infinite possibilities of the more that I choose this magic every day, all of the time. I can tap into that at any time and it can go all of the places, right? So that's really what I think December is about, of how can we tap into that magical energy. Now, if you're somebody like me where you have a really big energetic field, you have a big aura, like you're physically very steadfast, as it were. I told my trainer the other day that I was a dense gal, and that she really got a kick out of that one. So for those of us, with a lot of energy, we bring a lot of energy, that is going to tend to be even a little bit more manic than normal. And I'm being very generous with the word manic. I don't mean to overuse it in the way that people use the word crazy. I'm very aware of mental illness and all that. So that's a disclaimer. But I am saying it is a little bit of that as I define it, like spiritual mania, when we do hit that place of like, oh my God, I actually can do anything. Like it does get you you get a little buzzed because you're like, oh my God, I didn't know that like I actually could do anything. And now I actually believe it in a way that feels so real and physical that it does get you're a little high. Um, and that's great. We don't want to, you know, run over people with our energy. We don't like, sometimes I find for me, like when I get to that place, like, how can I give more of that to myself so that I'm not kind of toppling everybody over with my energy, right? Um, and so something else that you're going to want to do, this is more of like the tactile practice for this month is can you have like a sacred space and a place that you're putting all of these December possibilities? Because I pulled a card for us before. This is this is like my all-time new favorite Rachel LaForce deck. This is Alexis, Raccoon. I'm definitely saying it wrong. Alexis, if you're watching, I'm so sorry. But she has created this beautiful deck. It's called Magical Spirit Oracle, The Brilliance of You. And it's like the perfect amount of like, it just feels like 12-year-old Rachel would have found this in a head shop and like thought it was like the fucking coolest thing. So I'm just very attracted to it. Because all of the decks that I have, I kind of have them when I'm imagining people that are going to start showing up and wanting to work with me, they kind of hold the energy of those people. And I was like, I feel like I don't have a deck that currently feels like me. So anyway, just letting you know that that's more about me, and I should edit that out, but I won't. And so I pulled a card for, again, this idea of December possibilities. When you're feeling this energy and maybe it's getting away from you, find a sacred space that you can dream. This is your place of possibility, that even if a lot of these things you're like, oh, I could totally do that. That person will say yes. Like you already know all these things are going to go through. December in most every business, and just like we're done. It's the end of the year. Like we're done. We've done it. And so allow yourself to balance those two energies, which is like, I can rest in this. I don't need to do anything right now. And then I'm also going to dream and be in this space of possibility so that I can slowly start to implement that in January, February, March, right? Because next year picks up very quickly. I do feel like January is that same energy of like, we're kind of really finding our footing from this year. That's not really a new intuitive message. That's kind of always how it goes, right? We're starting this new like cycle. And so there is a lot of that. But I feel like unlike this year, where I don't feel like energy really picked up till like end of March, right? That's when it was like whoosh. And then everything's just kind of taken off since. That energy picks up a lot faster this year because the energy that we're feeling now is going to take us into next year. So really what we did through August, September, October, and then even into this month, into November, in this month of December, it's really for embodying and holding that energy down because that's what's going to take us into the new year. So let me leave you with this card pull, and that will be that. So this is a card pull for the December energy. It's this idea of infinite possibility and magic. And that's really what we're going to talk about. So I pulled this card and I love that it's also the first one from the deck, which is kind of fun because we're ending this year, going into the new thing. So I know that it's hard to kind of see this card, but it has like, it says it's the first card, and it said there is a reason that you have those dreams. This is the card of the mystic, intuition, high priestess, and the visionary. This idea of unrelenting self-belief. And so it's also really beautiful. There's like a sun up top with clouds, and then it's kind of raining down, and where her eyes are, they're turning into butterflies. And then it goes down into like, there's this skull that's like all of these mushrooms and flowers have come from. So it's really, for me, it's signifying like this continual cycle of what is dying off and then what are you creating. The fact that there's, flowers and mushrooms growing from the space where something died, again, always equaling to us that our pain, our old cycles aren't, it's never like a dump it and leave it. It's like dump it, observe, what can we take with us, and using that kind of as this spiritual fertilizer. how does she do it, into this next phase. So again, this is card number 1, the mystic, intuition, high priestess, visionary, and self-belief. The affirmations spell is, I trust that I am a powerful visionary. You're a mystic. Stop doubting your insights, your visions, your dreams. Your magic and intuition are on the rise. You're more powerful right now than you might even think. Trust that there's a reason that you've been given these things at this time. Trust there's a reason you've been given these things at this time. A hidden layer just beneath the surface will soon appear. Again, December, we want to feel it. We want to feel into it, but it's not quite there yet, right? Take special note of any visions, particularly night dreams, new desires, new life goals, or seemingly random ideas that you'll likely take action on. Have you had any recently? Again, this idea of this possibility, etc. It's also fun because I just gave you all that and I pulled the card. I knew it was the right one, but I hadn't read all of this yet. So this is fun. A hidden layer just beneath the surface will soon appear. Take special note of any visions, particularly night dreams, new desires, new life goals, or seemingly random ideas you'd like to take action on. Have you had any recently? Ponder and pay attention. Perhaps there is one or more coming. You are a strong portal of connection. It is time to take a closer look within, and when you do, don't invalidate yourself. Okay, stay in the realm of possibility, right? Believe, yes, believe. What a dork. Take inspired action and heed the signs. There are omens pointing the way, patterns, signs, and repeating things. Observe, allow, and listen. Observe, allow, and listen. Again, there's no action there. For December, we're observing, we're allowing, and we're listening, right? Spirit says, go deeper and be bold in your endeavors. Trust the dreams and desires you are inspired by. There is a reason they are yours. You have magic within and are capable of divine insight. You have magic within and are capable of divine insight. Again, that magic from the season, we want to integrate that. Trust in that, and your intuition will grow and deepen every time you do. Every relationship grows with trust and consistency, and your connection to your magic is no different. Perfect card. Perfect card. I knew it. Okay. And this is her kind of tip of like manifestation enhancer. So this is fun. Oh my, you guys. I'm sorry. I know that I do this, but every single time that it's so spot on, I'm just like, this is so dorky, but I'm like, oh my God, it really is magic. Okay. This is wild. This is literally what I just said. Okay. Start writing things down, especially if you get random downloads from spirit. Practice taking them more seriously. A consistent spiritual practice, such as meditating, journaling, connecting with your ideas, and engaging with them, is going to be extremely helpful at this time. Be open to receive and believe. It is the season to receive and believe. Y'all, that's all she got. That's all she has. This has been a beautiful year. I am so excited that you're here. I have I'm doing so many things next year. We're going on the road. We're going to Asheville. We're going to Boston. We are building out our physical brick and mortar space here in Atlanta. We're going on tour. We're doing comedy different places. I'm going to take my comedy special. We're creating community. I've got a residency at a bookshop, at a coffee shop. We are taking all of this magic and we're trusting that it's real and we're putting it out into the world. And my whole body is lit up. I was like, I don't want to get emotional. I could not do that if it wasn't for you guys showing up and you guys being like, yeah, no, this works. That resonates. That makes sense. So much of my own personal expansion and letting that light in is coming from the other people who identify as misfits, the other people who, identify as the creatives, the intuitives, the healers, the dancers, the dreamers, those of us that look at the world and go, yes, and right. We've got notes. We could make it better. And those of us that are digging in and willing to do this work and go out there, because it is not an easy task, and doing it together makes it so much more beautiful. And I cannot thank you enough So please check out the full newsletter. If you are seeing this through the newsletter, there are lots of offerings. I have 2 events in December. Really, especially if this message resonated with you, that is exactly the December 4th event is all about learning to receive. I've made cosmic gift bags for everybody. And our last event, which is December 18th, is all about, it's themed the magic in you. So we're just going to keep rooting these things in all through the month of December. I didn't even think about any of that till just now. So clearly there's an energetic theme. So yeah, I've got that going on, and there is so much more. I'm doing a big holiday extravaganza event that's family friendly at Session Stand in the Marietta Square. That's happening December 20th. That is a free event. Bring your kids, your family, be in comfy cozies. There's going to be a hot chocolate bar. If you're familiar with my character Tracy, she's going to be hosting it. If you're not, stay tuned for Tracy. We're going to be doing the 25 days of Tracy this year. She's just a super fun character who loves Christmas. So you can check all of that out. And yeah, if we don't talk until the new year, be blessed, be merry. I love you so much. If this is a low vibrational season for you, I see you. I've been there. I hear you. And stay in it, stay light, and love you, mean it.